Well, it's finally here, friends. Holy Week began this past Sunday with Palm Sunday, as we stood in the courtyard right out here to reenact and experience Christ entering into Jerusalem. And then we have a number of important things coming up this week. So I just want to very briefly explain for those who may be new to Holy Week what Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, Easter Sunday is about. And so what we thought we would do is we're here at our interactive Stations of the Cross, and we're going to just walk around quietly, because there might be people in there praying as well, explaining a couple of these things briefly, and also for you to be able to see some of these stations that your people and your church have put together, and really encourage you to come out and share in this as well. So let's go. All right, so come on in. You come into the greenhouse, you can see that the stations are laid out here. This is number one right here in the front. And so this is the kind of thing that you'll see throughout the stations here as well, as this one is the first station. We remember when Pilate condemned Jesus to death and he washed his hands. And then there are different aspects of interactive things to be able to do here as well, of being able to tie a knot in this and being bound so that you can experience Jesus being bound as well. So this is the kind of meditative prayers that you're going to see throughout the Stations of the Cross. So as the Stations of the Cross brings us on a journey, really all of Holy Week brings us on a journey. Begins with Palm Sunday, as we said, then Maundy Thursday, Maundy, M-A-U-N-D-Y, not Monday Thursday, which is how we all grew up thinking that it was. Maundy Thursday, which comes from a Latin word that means command, because it's on this night that Jesus gave the command. He said, "A new command I give to you, love one another as I have loved you." He also gives us a command to share in his Lord's Supper as well. That's what the institution of the Eucharist or communion happened on Maundy Thursday as well. So as we continue to walk and look at some of these things as well and other stations, Good Friday is after the events of Maundy Thursday is when Jesus was arrested, and on Good Friday we remember his trial, we remember his crucifixion, and there are aspects of the Stations of the Cross that's where it walks through. Like this one, Jesus falls for the first time, and so when Jesus was carrying probably only the cross piece of the cross is probably about 90 to 100 pounds, and it was on his back, and he'd already been weakened by loss of blood and beaten and such as well. The scripture shows us that he fell a few times and had to be picked up and such as well. So this is the kind of thing that we are remembering in the Stations of the Cross and on Good Friday as well. And we leave that night in darkness and in silence, because that night we remember the death of Jesus. Then Holy Saturday is the next day, and throughout the day there's nothing. There's just mourning. A lot of people fast on Good Friday, beginning at lunch, and through all of Holy Saturday, or as much as you can anyway, and even into Easter Sunday, to prepare our bodies for the experience of remembering Jesus' death and resurrection. So Holy Saturday is the first part of the day is nothing. It's not the time for Easter egg hunts and pretty shopping dresses and all of those sort of things. It's a time really for quietness, reflection, and mourning. Then Easter Vigil, we will be gathered back together again in the sanctuary, and we'll recall the entire story of redemptive history, telling the highs and lows of the Old Testament, creation, fall, redemption, Abraham, the kings, the prophet. We will remember all of these stories, and we'll do so through art and through liturgy and through reading and through song and participation. And we also remember then, as the night creeps on and it becomes Sunday morning, we celebrate the announcement of the resurrection of Jesus. And we get to say that A word that we haven't been able to say throughout all of Lent many, many times. And there's loud bells and singing. It's a glorious, glorious, amazing moment that we have been preparing for. So that's Easter Vigil. We hope you'll come out for. Then Sunday morning, 9/11 as normal, and a hugely celebratory service of remembering that day, the resurrection day when everything changed. So it's a really amazing week, and we all take naps after after service on Sunday, and relax next week in the victory and the joy of Jesus, as we have experienced this week with Him as well. So I pray if this is your first Holy Week, enter into it with an open mind of experiencing the gospel in a new way, in a tangible and physical way, and in community, not just by yourself and your own celebration, but in the people of God. We encourage you to really press into this week. And if you have things that come up over the course of this week that the Lord's really doing work in your life, reach out to us as well. We'd love to be able to help you and walk with you and support you and encourage you. It's quite the week this week. So we love you. Last thing I'll mention to you, your staff and clergy are working very hard for you and for the Lord this week. That means we close the offices next week. And so we just try to give people time to rest up after the great celebrations and hard work of this week. So next week we might be a little slower to reply if you reach out to us, but there will be still, of course, people around to be able to serve you as well. So pray for our staff and our clergy this week as they prepare the church and these services for you, as we are praying for you, and let the Lord do great things in our midst. Bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your family out to be a part of the events of this week and telling the story of Jesus Christ. We love you. Have a wonderful Holy Week.